All right.
Got it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Demo Team Podcast. We're here with Ryan Mitchell from what was it?
Water. take two.
My bad. Water culture. I was like
water culture. Everyone's favorite.
Water culture, formerly Glow. That's
All
how
right.
I have to.
That's what.
Sorry about that. We've been doing interview. We've done what? This is like our sixth interview we've done in like a week or something. So
entirely fair.
Yeah. And you won't be the last probably either. So
it's a grind.
I would definitely enjoy if water culture came back after this interview. I mean, Ryan's probably been one of my longtime homies. I have had the pleasure of watching him do covers for quite a while. If you're
so many years.
Yeah, if you're a fan on Facebook and you've ever seen a dude with some long hair just kind of chilling and there's blade in the background, you've probably seen one of them videos, maybe in Swan Posting or something like that. But Ryan's been killing it for a very long time.
If you were active in Swan Core groups from 2019 to 2021.
Yeah. I mean,
I did a cover week, maybe 3, all those years.
Hell yeah. And I always like those videos, dude. You have a chameleon voice, because the voice you have for water culture and glow stuff, kind of your own harness.
Yeah, it's just the clusterfuck of a bunch of other people's voices and writing styles, and then over the years, finally doing albums of my own. It just, I don't know. I tried a lot. On Cherish You, when we were still Glow, I did a lot more soft emo stuff with high pitched parts and no screaming, and generally found that more of the mid range is better sounding than my voice, even though I like to do covers of Dance Gavin Dance and all these other bands and stuff that is just super high pitched. It's nice to have those skills and be able to implement them into songs, but it's not anything that would be my mainstay vocally. And yeah, I don't do covers nearly as much anymore. I kind of want to get back into it, but I just get so much more serotonin from writing my own stuff. I'm sure you relate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing vocals since I was 12. And I have of Mice and Men cover of Second and Sebring from when I was 13 or 14 years old. And I could sing, yeah, but I could not scream. It is buried pretty deep down on my YouTube, got 500 views, and I'll show someone every once in a while if I want to show them where I started. But yeah, just doing hundreds of covers was easily the most helpful thing in becoming a decent vocalist. If maybe a little bit more than decent, but I'll leave that up to other people. It's just super helpful.
You're good.
Yeah, thank you.
And for those who are unaware, just unengaged into what Ryan does for water culture, he is the vocalist of water culture. And so why don't you explain to us how you got into that? What made you decide one day, I'm sure before the Second and Sebring cover you were still singing. So how does that come to be for you?
Man, it's a pretty long and tumultuous journey. I was doing bands in high school. Well, I did a band in high school back in Roanoke, Virginia. It was called Break the Silence. And after I was kicked out of that band, which was super fun, getting kicked out of a band, really top experience. I recommend everyone try it at least once. I moved out to Louisville, Kentucky, and did a band, or joined up with a band, a post-hardcore band, kind of swancore-ish, called Anchors for Eyes. And we put out 2 songs before basically everyone quit. And I moved back to Virginia, flipped my car, broke my spine. And then while I was on bed rest from that accident for 4 months, I met the members of what would become Glow in North Carolina. And we put out a record, an EP, and played a fuck ton of shows. And then in the middle of COVID, we got a new member and we changed our style a good bit. And we changed our name to Water Culture, which is how I became Ryan, the vocalist of Water Culture, instead of all those other bands.
That was very solid, like succinct history you just gave us. I appreciate that.
I do my best to not overindulge, but just get it all out in 90 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, be like jumping around all over the place, but this was very like streamlined, and so
Yeah, that's how I got here.
Hell yeah, dude. So like one thing about water culture I've noticed is like it's a very emotionally raw like sound to it. Like you either go from very mellow, sad, somber kind of vibes, and then there are songs where it's a little more up tempo and aggressive and stuff. So what's like the mental?
But always emo.
Yeah, it's gotta be. But where does the mental mindset for you go when you're writing for water culture?
I can't believe that like the 30 minutes that I tried to do like a little interview outside, sit on the porch, there's just so much yard work going on. It's like 3:00. Like, go home.
Don't feel bad, dude.
I love so many different kinds of music. Stuff like 2011 metalcore was like really big for me. It's all I listened to for a long time. And then I got more into bands like Lydia, Copeland, Pianos Become the Teeth, more like somber post rock that still had like a kick to it, a punch to it.
Emo revival kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just love it so much. I can't get enough of it. And when Jared joined the band, we were still Glow. We had done a tour with him. Me and Jared started Water Culture as a side project because I wanted to do something more in the like vein of Lydia and Copeland. And we had a bunch of songs written for Glow, like probably a full album and a half. And we went to the studio May 2020 to do 3 songs for Glow and 3 songs for Water Culture. But after we did them all, we just decided to rebrand entirely because we'd gone through a lot and were kind of burnt out on the band name. So we did that. And that's why there's kind of like the variety in sounds, but we want to just keep that going. We like playing heavier music. We like making songs like So Far Gone that could be on like a top 40 playlist or some shit like that. And yeah, just whatever we like to do. It just has to be genuine, has to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, genuine part's definitely important in my opinion. Gotta be for real.
If you aren't for real, what are you?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You're fake. You don't exist if you're not for real.
There's a lot of bands that I wouldn't say are genuine, but I also wouldn't say are fake. They're just like more tapped into like one sound or like one certain band that they're inspired by. And I really respect that because that's how like we get a lot of really cool shit. But I think it's just kind of boring and outdated to stick to like one sound nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the era of genre bending these days.
It's like the era of doing whatever the fuck you want, as long as you can get a couple views on TikTok and get a sound
basically
viral.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you want to do, I guess, that it's kind of out of your wheelhouse, I guess, that you would like to attempt, I guess, or
I don't know, anything but country,
All right.
country. But I've ghostwritten for some R&B artists and people that do more of like rap. Rap isn't really like something I'm super interested in, but like more so like R&B based post-hardcore, kind of like old Emerosa, like Relativity and shit like that. I would really love to do a bit of that.
I
don't think there's enough.
Great album.
Really, really good album. Really, really good.
Like those, honestly, those first 4 Emerosa albums are just like,
it's instrumental. It's all in the instrumental.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Craig is so good, but like those dudes that wrote those albums like really just went off, and then Bradley joined and they went off in a different way, and now they objectively don't go off in my opinion. But
I'll be honest. I mean, I did like Peaches or whatever that their
Peaches.
last one was. Yeah.
Oh, my cat's name is Peaches.
You named after the Emerosa album?
No, I didn't. No, we got two, and they were gonna be peaches and cream, but one of them was really big eyes, so we ended up naming it Bug. The other one just stayed peaches.
All right, I can dig it. I
I
mean,
mean, as a
I liked
fan of
131, and I liked Versus. We did a song with Bradley Walden when we were still Glow. We have a music
Peach
video
Club
on
was
YouTube.
Peach Club was the one I
Yeah,
was thinking
Peach
about,
Club.
not Peaches. Yeah, my bad.
But we have a music video for our song Patterns with Bradley Walden. He did a little feature on that. That was fun.
It's interesting you say the instrumentals because there's really only one person who's like consistently in it. It was like the guitarist was the only one who was the consistent member throughout. So
one of the guitarists.
Yeah, one of them.
It takes two. It takes two to do something that cool.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Got me looking them up right now.
They had
E.R. White,
Mm-hmm.
lead guitarist. So
Matthew and like two other dudes left, which was a bummer. And Johnny Craig, but that was pretty necessary.
Yeah,
pretty necessary indeed. And you wouldn't have gotten that second or that third Dance Gavin Dance album or from him. Well, no, well, I mean, I guess EP, then second full length album from him. So.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
I like Dance or the older records of Dance Gavin Dance. Kurtz is my favorite of the old ones as a full record. Johnny had some really cool stuff. It was just really repetitive. Like, all of Johnny's stuff is really repetitive to an extent. Like
he kind of just figured out.
They're just amazing.
He figured out how to do a few things and just kind of did it forever. Because
John Mess has gotten so much better since those records that it's barely listenable to me. Like how good he sounds on Instant Grat Forward it's so nice.
It was always good because I feel like his style, he had a very distinct style early on, but I feel like as time went on, he was able to articulate and improve upon it. Or a Johnny Craig, they figured out the three tools in the toolbox that work, and they're just well, I'm gonna arrange these tools like this, and maybe this time, and
I mean, I feel like if he'd made some different life choices, he probably would have figured out a few other tools, or I don't know, maybe worked on his voice more. Exactly. He would have done, I don't know, he would have trained his vocals and figured out some other things, but he didn't because he didn't really have to, I guess. He rested on his laurels a lot of things in life. It seems like he did that with a lot of shit. So
unfortunately, that's just the way the cookie crumbles for that dude.
Mm-hmm. All those R&B-ish singers will be fucking up though. So hardcore singers, all those R&B-ish.
That is true.
Hardcore singers.
I didn't notice that trend, but except for the dude from Marionette, that guy is amazing, and I hope he does more. I don't know what he's doing currently.
Which one?
Are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure Quinn.
Quinn? Yeah, he's still around.
He's a rapper now.
He's a rapper now.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'd have to hear it. That's awesome.
He's got some cool
Q, right? Yeah, we interviewed him. In April?
Nice.
Yeah. Right before. He's such a nice guy. Real good head.
We played a show with the Marionette before COVID, and I was really hoping he was going to be doing vocals, but it wasn't the case. The other guy they had fucking killed it. It was so good.
Oh yeah, he's great. Izzy.
It was different.
Izzy's a great singer. I feel like if anybody that's had to take a mantle up for a replacing singer, for somebody to take that role and kind of just swing it out of the park and kind of just bring their own flair to it, because I feel like a Marionette definitely changed their sound a little bit, but I feel like with Izzy it was a good development,
and I think it kind of worked. I mean, I think it kind of worked a little better for what they were kind of moving towards too. The way they were changing.
It's really big for a band when they change singers or bring on another singer, like Dance Gavin Dance did with Andrew, to change their sound a little bit to bring the most out of that singer. Will Swan is a pioneer of that. He's big brained as fuck for the like 180 that he did when Kurt joined, the 180 he did when Johnny joined, and then the 180 he did when Tillian joined. I don't think that there's many other musicians out there that could do that, honestly. There's not many people that are like that limitless for themselves, that they have the ability to create that many genres that well.
And I think like the thing about him that's kind of cool is like it wasn't just he just changed from one thing to another. He kind of built off everything before it, which is like
reinvention.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like you don't get Downtown Battle Mountain 2 without Happiness. You don't get like Acceptance Speech without Downtown Battle Mountain 2. It's really, and like you don't get Gratification without all the three of those before it. So
totally
big
brain as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. The way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I mentioned that Second and Sebring cover that I did all those years ago. I am doing Louisville Loves Emo. It's a big emo night that they have up there. It's like generally like 300-400 people at Headliners Hall. And they're doing a bunch of like more modern covers this time. It's always been like 90s metal stuff and shit like that, or early 2000s. I'm going up there and doing Second and Sebring and King for a Day, and maybe a Dance Gavin Dance song. So that's just gonna be really fun. It's really fun, really fun to do this live. I've done it once before.
You're doing like that peak Warped Tour era, like
yeah, that's my shit.
I love that, man. That's awesome. That was time for sure.
I know you've played emo nights before, and I know you play regular shows at venues and stuff. Could you tell us like the differences between the two vibes? Because I know like a venue night, the different crowd.
That show that we played with Kellen Quinn at the Ritz Raleigh had like 700 people there. That was an emo night, and that was the best show I've ever played. I love the vibe of an emo night because like for what I do, what I come from, that's like my market. And so going to do either the emo night cover shows or the emo night regular shows, which we did one with Kurt Travis like that February 2020, right before COVID hit. That shit was so fun. I got very drunk and sang Rock Solid with him on stage. That was a highlight for sure.
That's definitely a highlight if I ever heard one.
I love playing regular shows as well, but I feel like with regular shows there is more inherent judgment from people about the sound you're making, like whatever genre it is or whatever else you're doing. And when you're at something like an emo night, more of a nostalgia based event, it's just like people are going to clap regardless of what. You could go up there and shit into the microphone and people are gonna be like, good job. But yeah,
they're there for it, they're ready for it, that's what they want. And as long
regular
as
shows have the potential to be emo night shows, but it's just not the same sometimes. Emo nights feel like a banger of a house party, even if it's at a bigger venue, with $22 beers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's important.
How else are you supposed to cash in on nostalgia than overcharging for beer?
Yeah, and then begging people for drink tickets,
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they're all just there to get their fix, Vimo. So not alcohol, but even
that's probably a market that needs to be covered by the emos. Is alcohol. Our own.
I kind of agree because where they have
C4 Cinema. Y'all know Doug Anderson, C4 Cinema. They did a whole emo night tour, going and playing covers and playing their original music, and that shit's genius. You'll make so much money, like so fucking much money. Compared to a regular show, we make like 4 or 5 times as much at like an emo night show because it's like older people. Like,
oh yeah, they're the ones who got money.
They have money. Yeah. They're wanting to go there and get drunk and support bands. You don't get that all the time at like a bar scene or whatever. Maybe if you like promote a show well at a venue, you'll have a really good time, which is probably about half the shows. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just like a smart market, and I feel like anybody that doesn't want to embrace that, like emo night or emo night tours, which is definitely a thing, like it's
Mhm.
kind of it's a good way to like integrate yourself into that brand because it's like we all grew up with it, and to be anti emo night, I don't know like if those people exist, and if you do, stop that. That's not cool, but
Yeah,
it's like
it'll probably die off in a few years, but that's okay.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's really great for networking too.
It
Like,
is.
yeah.
We out of the 700 people at that show, the next day we had like 300 new listeners on Spotify, and that's like incredible.
That is like a huge amount, yeah.
That's you can't pay for that. I mean, you can, but I don't have that kind of money. You know,
You
if
got
y'all do,
you
you can hit me up. But
you got to go
yeah,
to your monthly emo convention, basically, is what it is.
man, I wish we could do that monthly. I would do questionable things for that.
No, I
start
feel
up
that. Yeah.
start up
No,
your own
I
emo.
mean,
Yeah, I would, but it's a lot of work, and I am kind of lazy when it doesn't come to actually making music or playing Apex.
Yeah, it's hard. Like when you got to be the artist and the salesman, and then the booker, and then the
I already have to
planner.
do that for my shows, but like it's
Yeah,
honestly not a bad idea to like just make your own show with a bunch of bands and then call it an emo night. I might do that at some point,
yeah.
but
You heard it here first.
yeah,
that's the plan,
if you
Ryan.
live
That's
in
how we're gonna do Demo
Charlotte, North
Fest.
Carolina, if you live in Greensboro or Winston-Salem or Raleigh, North Carolina, then you heard it here first. At some point in the next calendar year, there will be an emo night.
Ryan, that's how we're gonna do Demo Fest.
There
I
we
would
go.
love that.
Demo night.
Demo
D
night.
Demo. There we go. D and
I will come
Demon
and we will
Night.
cover Demo Team. Or is it that what the song's called? Demo
Yeah,
Team?
Demo Team.
yeah.
Mhm.
Don't worry. Because I mean, I think this podcast definitely started off as like a Dance Gavin Dance thing, but we
Oh yeah,
definitely
for sure.
It's grown into more of that.
oh yeah. We just
We're bigger than that now.
yeah, we
We're
just start asking musicians like, hey, you want to come on? And it's like a gambling roulette wheel, but like we've gotten lucky. We've had like a couple cool people
Do
on
you
here. I
know,
mean,
What do you mean we
Ryan,
got lucky? Everyone we've had on is cool, Ryan. What are you
yeah,
talking about?
I would
do you guys know that band Pulses?
Yeah,
yes.
had them on
They
twice.
they fucking hate us. They don't like my band.
What?
We played a show of them in Greensboro, and I was sitting out on the porch like smoking a blunt or doing something and listening to them, and I was like, yeah, they're really fucking good. I can tell like what eras Dance Gavin Dance they take inspiration from, like from each song. And their drummer was walking by outside. He got super pissed, like super mad. They went on social media and like tried to like flame us and shit. It was just
Because you said
it's I
you
said they
said
sound
they were
like Dance
influenced.
Gavin Dance, which they do, you know, it's not a question. I was just, stating something. But they just took that like such a dig. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen Pulses get offended at
Yeah,
the
that's
swap
kind of like
like
yeah.
correlate. And it's like they have
They
If
don't
you
like
don't if you
they don't
don't
like
want
that
to say
label.
that, maybe don't make music like that. Or I don't know, just like lighten up, be a little just a hint chiller. Like actually, we do sound a little bit like Dance Gavin Dance. I appreciate the comparison. It's like that's a great band to be compared to. But
yeah,
yeah, they were super salty about that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I've never had like a bad engagement with Pulses. I've always like they've always been cool with us, and I have seen them get a little bent out of shape just a little bit with the comparison. But it's like I think there's more to it. I think there's definitely
Yeah, there is.
there's more
And
to it because they've been involved in the scene and like at different levels, and I feel like maybe it was just a bad night. Hopefully we can
It was a
bridge.
great show though.
Yeah,
and
hopefully it's the friendship, man. I would hate,
Maybe
for
there's no beef there anymore.
they
I
just
don't know.
they just don't
They probably
they just
don't
don't
even
like
know
the
who we are.
Swan
We
Core
changed our
label,
name.
basically.
I mean,
They
yeah,
don't want to
I've
be boxed in
experienced
by
that.
that. Yeah.
Our producer that we work with, Jordan Haynes of Artifacts Pareo, also doesn't really love how his band got boxed in as a Swancore band because they have noodly guitarists and record with Chris Crummett. I can see that. I don't really love either like there's not like there's a lot of subgenres for metal, but it almost feels like there's not enough and too much. Because like I don't know what to call my music half the time. Just, you know, post rock, post hardcore type shit. And anybody that makes anything noodly is just labeled swampcore.
It's more than just, I think it's also like you have to like, it's basically giving all the credit to Will Swan is almost the other side of it too, which, and I understand like
he
not
does
everyone
deserve like 20% of credit for most,
but like there's a lot
music.
more to it than that. Like even like he it's not like he really invented the sound. Like, you know, Mars Volta and like fucking The Fall of Troy were a thing long before Dance Gavin Dance came around. So
yeah, and it's not like, I mean, Will Swan gives those people credit though. It's not like he didn't like sign Thomas.
But it's but his name gets put on the genre though, is the thing. He gets a lot. That's the problem. He gets a lot. He gets more credit than, and you know, like there's the big Dance Gavin Dance fans, the, you know, the super fans or whatever, and like I think that they probably seem totally okay with just giving Will Swan all the credit and just calling it all Swancore, but that's why I go with just say progressive post hardcore.
I would argue that Will Swan did it better than anybody, and he's pretty deserving of the credit he's gotten. I'm also really annoyed at this neighbor right here. He's been mowing his lawn in the same spot for like 20 minutes, and I just want to throw rocks.
The grass is growing really fast.
You got to keep up with it, you know? It's what you got to do.
If it's any consolation, I cannot hear a lawnmower in the background.
No, I can't either. And I can't hear any jackhammers from Ryan's background. Can you hear the cars going by the street on mine? Because
I just heard one.
Are kind of loud. You did?
You said
no. It's impossible for me to believe you can't hear that because it is deafening to me, but it does make it better. So thank you.
I think it's the headphones. The headphones are like real close to you. So
yeah, true. Very true.
But I think, do you have an Apple iPhone?
I do have an iPhone, yeah.
Yeah, I think they have like a little setting. It's like a mic isolation, so it like kind of just focuses like, real nearby. Because I always feel self-conscious because I have a jackhammer going off or construction crew in the background, and I'm like, can't hear that, right? Like I'm just freaking out here, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man, I don't hear anything. But imagine a person a mic isolation.
I live in a neighborhood that's like a homeowners association, which fucking sucks because they charge like $200 a month just to exist. And then all they do is have fucking yard work going 24/7. Like literally every day of the week between 9 and 5, there's people mowing fucking nothing. We still have like weeds in our yard. They don't do anything. They just mow the same patch of grass. And as a 9 to 5 like hourly hustle, I respect it. They're not doing anything. They're just cashing in money. But like, why?
Yeah, why?
I swear to God, they're fucking weed eating like asphalt.
Yeah.
To be honest, I hate lawns. I don't think you should just let your shit go. I'm tired of this shit. Tired of the whole lawn.
I love taking care of lawns, but like, we don't even have a lawn. It's just like townhomes, and it's just like there's a really shitty noise band playing outside all the time. You can't tell them to shut the fuck up as much as you want to.
Imagine if there was a real like shitty noise band was actually playing outside all the time and you couldn't tell them.
My girlfriend would kill them. My girlfriend would commit murder.
So, I mean, you guys just released something through Water Culture.
We put out a song called Once Before Today. We put out 7 singles in the past year and a half. Just trickling all those releases from our May 2020 recording session. We're recording a few more songs right now, and then we're going to put it all together as a LP and put it out. And then in like January or February, we're going back to Jordan Haynes of Artifacts Pareto out in Kentucky, and we're going to record another 6 songs because goddamn, do we have some demos. We have some fucking demos, like so many.
Well, and, you came to the right place for that.
Endless demos. All we did during COVID.
Yeah. So the song that just came out, how are you feeling about it? Like, do you
I
feel
love
good?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a great response. People have been super supportive about it. We've sold some merch, gotten like a couple thousand streams between Apple and Spotify, which is rad to do without any like major playlisting, which is really hard to get, you know?
Mhm.
And yeah, I we've been sitting on that song for 3 years.
Yeah. We
So
must feel
it
out
feels good.
finally.
Yeah. We've played 3 shows this year, finally being back from our 3 year break due to the world stopping.
Yeah.
And it's been really nice to play these new songs and just be back in that environment.
Yeah. That's good,
Something
man.
I really missed.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're releasing music and you're keeping a healthy like release schedule. It's like it's good to see, and it's also awesome to see all the artwork because all the artwork that comes out, it's all like kind of
Dude,
minimal
yeah.
color
It
choices.
is really cool artwork for sure.
We have a friend in Winston-Salem. Their name is Salem, and they do all of our artwork, except for the Once Before Today art. Our guitarist Jared did that, but they did all of the other pieces: So Far Gone, Tired Eyes, Tell Me to Leave, and they're super talented. They do those things in like one day. I'll be like, hey, we have this song. We were kind of thinking this, and then they just hit me back up like the next day, like, how's this? It's like perfect every time. I wish that we could get it printed on more merch, but it's like so expensive to get numerous colors printed. I don't even.
Yeah. Good merch, quality merch. You don't want to be printing anything out.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
Places be like, yo, we can do this digital design or whatever the fuck, so we can do unlimited colors on this nice T-shirt. It only costs you $23 a tee for over 80. It's like, what do you think I'm gonna sell them for? You know, a liver, body parts.
Yeah, the cost of a finger, man.
Yeah, but we have some pretty decent merch. We have some shirts, some hoodies. We're gonna get some more hoodies made soon. Maybe some sweatpants because it's cold.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, I live in Boone, North Carolina. It gets like fucking cold fast.
Oh yeah. After this summer, I'm glad the cold's here finally.
I bet being in Mexico, holy shit, that's you're right at the equator.
Ryan, yeah, you might not even like. I don't think you're gonna get hit that weather. Honestly, I think it's gonna be nice all year round for you. I mean, but aren't you going to Arizona though?
I'm trying to. I live right by the ocean, so I definitely get a night chill. So it gets real cold. Yeah, night chill. Nice.
No, that's only a thing like on the Pacific. It doesn't really happen that much like the other because it's different. Like,
do you live where I'm at? Telling me what the weather's like where
no, I've been to LA. It's like it doesn't like in the Gulf, like it doesn't, you don't get a night chill. It's like just warm ass water all year round.
Yeah, you go in the water. Tell me right now if it's warm right now. Come on.
What? Well, I mean, like on the West Coast, it's cold as fuck in the summer.
You would think so. You would think so. It gets
not
cold
down there.
It gets cold. I'm just saying, it gets cold.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, at night it gets cold.
I'm not from a cold ass climate. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't. It gets cold at night. It's like because it's like a desert and like it's like a different like type of ocean. Whatever. I'm not gonna get into the whole everything, all that shit.
Beach weather. It gets cold.
I don't know what's going on.
It's just me. Thing.
No, I'm just saying that's not a thing that happens everywhere. Because like when I lived at the beach, it was like humid as fuck at night. In Mexico, or almost in Mexico, Texas.
What? Juarez?
Juarez is not by the beach. That's across from El Paso.
Oh, see, I don't know. I live over here. I don't claim to know what's where you live.
Or whatever, man. I don't care.
Everyone's funnest time is when me and Cash just banter and bicker. It's so great.
Oh yeah,
I love it
for sure. When we fight, when we get into like heated arguments on here.
No.
Oh, has that ever happened? About what?
Ryan stole my girl.
Okay. Oh, did I?
I'm just playing. No,
I can see that happening.
Yeah, Ryan stole my cat.
I think the only thing we ever like heated about was fucking what was it? What's that stupid burger place that you like called?
Whatever.
Whataburger.
You know what? That's it. New topic. New topic.
It gets heated over here. So
I do want to get Burger Street soon though.
Since we're on the topic of food, you're from North Carolina, correct, Ryan Mitchell?
Yes, I am.
Any good food places where you live?
Well, in Boone, there's like 3 restaurants that I made. There is the Cardinal, really good burgers, really good everything. Hatchet, they have avocado toast and coffee, lovely. And then what's another place? Stick Boy Cafe. They have the best chicken sandwich, artichoke sandwich, and then we have Cookout. You know, comparatively to Whataburger.
Oh, dude, I heard Cookout's so good.
Cookout. I mean, I don't think any fast food is so good, but
it's like you get so many options and stuff, right?
There's a lot of options. There's a lot of milkshake options, and it's open till like 3 a.m. comparably to everything else closing at like 10 p.m., which fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But the lines go out into the street, and it's just, yeah, you have to debate whether you want to go out and wait 45 minutes for a corn dog and some chicken nugs. I mean, but it's worth it sometimes.
At 3 a.m. No.
That's like basically what Whataburger is these days, is like waiting in a drive-through at 3 a.m. for 45 minutes to get.
Yeah, that. What
there's nothing else open. So.
What is that other burger place that everyone is like so horny over? Fucking there's Whataburger, In-N-Out. I've never been to either of them, but I can tell you right now, I would be disappointed if I went. I would absolutely be disappointed. No fast food burger deserves that much hype, you know?
Yeah, that definitely. I think that's what was the downfall of Whataburger, was I had to hear the hype for so long, and then when you have it, it's just like,
it's a cultural. It's a cultural thing. You didn't grow up with it either.
Yeah,
it's like a big deal. Like, and it's like open like late. It's like basically everyone went there when they were drunk as fuck in the middle of the night for like years.
I get secondhand rage when people say In-N-Out sucks. You know, like I'll be like,
I don't think In-N-Out sucks though, is the thing.
But
and like I think people in Texas especially are like, yeah, In-N-Out sucks. And I'm like, no, In-N-Out's delicious. It's just a different burger than Whataburger.
Yeah.
Different bad. Different not good.
Whatever.
Nobody likes change.
No, that's the thing.
I enjoyed it when they finally came to Texas. I was like, this shit fucking slaps. I might get this like all the time. And I did. I mean, like, I don't know. I kind of wanted it the other night. I didn't get it. I haven't gotten it in a few months, but I do like In-N-Out a lot. But I don't know. I mean, I've always heard Boone is a pretty cool town, though I don't know much about it.
It's a pretty cool town. This is what it's famous for. Hold on, I'll show you. It like all the trees changing in the fall is really pretty. But that's about it. It's a town built for 30,000 people, and there's 30,000 college students alone at the university. So the traffic is super bad. Lines for everything are massive. If you want to get a service person out to your place, it's going to be like a 2 or 3 month wait generally. So it's great if you hate convenience. You know, if you fucking hate convenience and you want to live near college, you should move to Boone. Or if you like climbing mountains.
There you go. Hike. You know, that's a good place to go to hike and wait.
It's like tiny mountainous Denton.
We're hopefully going somewhere else in North Carolina, and then in a year or two, we're going to move further away from the East Coast. But Boone's been nice for a while.
There you go. Yeah. Taking care of you, and that's all that matters, I feel.
Absolutely.
So I think we would be remiss, maybe not to mention like the most whenever I see comments about people talking about like that one dude that covers songs, he's got the Keyblade in the background. Like if I could get the origin story of the Keyblade, like how does that get on your wall? Like you grew up with the game, or did someone gift it to you and you're just like, I like Keyblades?
I don't remember when I first got Kingdom Hearts. I think it was given to me for Christmas or something. But I remember playing it with my neighborhood friends that were like, I was like 6 or 7 or something like that, maybe 5 or 6, and they were like a couple years older than me. PlayStation 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember trying to get past like the first world for like so long, and I couldn't do it. So I just put it down. But then they came and helped me with it, and then we played the entire game through. And the ending of it, I just like sobbed crying, and it was like the first game that had, like given me really an emotional experience. And it's just been really consistent over the years with delivering that. And I like the series a lot. And I'm also really good at playing it because I've done it for 20 years, on and off. So I think I have 2 Keyblades. One of them was gifted to me, and one of them I got myself off Amazon when I had like a Christmas gift card or some shit. I just love that series. I know it's like very childish, but I was a fucking child when I started playing it. So yeah, anyone that has beef about it can fucking catch these hands or Keyblade or whatever, though it's phone, so it won't really do much.
I don't know. I think it's okay to like be a fan of something.
It is, yeah.
It's like sure. Like people like watch Disney movies their whole life. Like it's a family affair, Like
maybe they do.
I mean, it's not super controversial to be an adult that likes Kingdom Hearts because like it's one of the biggest, most successful things there is. But yeah, people still like shit on it. So
no, it was a cool game back in the day for sure.
I mean, if
kind of makes me want to go get it, honestly.
Yeah,
they're very accessible.
Yeah, I think of all games to like, I mean, it's probably like the only thing that can be like lobbied at it that's like maybe valid is the story is a little confusing. But I mean,
oh my god, it's so confusing. It's so unnecessarily. But that was something that honestly drew me to it because like there was so much time between the games that like when I finished Kingdom Hearts 2 and like full 100% completed it, got the secret ending, it just leaves you with so many more questions, which is so smart, Like, it's honestly why I think fans should play short sets. You should make people want more and then have less shows just to make people want to go to them. But yeah, after like I was done with the game, I would spend like it would take my mental space wondering what was coming, and that kind of like kept it alive for me the 10 years between 2 and 3. But definitely way too convoluted for a fucking Disney game. I guess that's more of the Final Fantasy Japanese JRPG kind of lineage to it, but no reason for that, especially in a game with Mickey Mouse.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you start blending universes, like you can try to explain why video game characters are chilling with Disney characters. It's bound to be confusing.
For sure. I would say my top 5 games all time gotta be BioShock's up there. This is in no particular order. Kingdom Hearts, Apex Legends for sure. I've spent the past 3 years playing that, and Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 15 are up there a lot. And number 5 would probably be maybe Counter-Strike. I used to play that a fuck ton.
Oh yeah, those
on the original Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I used to play
Halo.
Yeah, I used to play Counter-Strike on PC like way back, like Source and shit. Like that's good old memories, man.
My stepdad would play that a lot too. I was a little too young to be PC gaming, maybe, I don't know, but it's just what I had.
Yeah, wrong with that. The Xbox version was very suitable and it got the job done.
I would just play on Dust and Dust 2, or was it Rust? It was Dust. I would play on those maps with NPCs and just fucking farm. I felt like such a god. It was great, even though I probably hit 20% of my shots.
Oh yeah, dude. I appreciate that. And I mean, have any of these games possibly ever been like bled into your music? Have you ever written a Kingdom Hearts song?
No, but Kingdom Hearts has some of the most iconic theme songs that I would be lying out my fucking ass to say it's never influenced me in like maybe a harmony or a melody or something. Just that song Sanctuary, that shit makes my heart just go. Like when I was playing Kingdom Hearts 1 when I was very young, finished it. It has a super emotional cutscene, and you're basically just like, it's Sora like floating away from Kyrie, and then the song, I think Sanctuary starts playing, or Simple and Clean starts playing, I can't remember which. And that instance of like music hitting and making something so much more emotional, it just, I don't, it just hit me really hard. It shaped what I really enjoyed about things. If something could make me feel that way, then it was something that I would kind of gravitate to. And like you said, all of our music is like pretty raw and emotional. I kind of carry that into when I'm writing lyrics, or just listening to something to see like if the instrumental will hit me, and I want to do that.
Oh yeah, and it's like a lot of music from like Kingdom Hearts stuff that's like Nobu Iomatsu and Sanctuary and Simple and Clean. That's what Utada Hikaru.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce her name like that, but
yeah,
good on you.
I took I probably butchered the fuck out of it, and I took Japanese in high school for like a month. But all I have to say is like that one song, "Dearly Beloved," that thing can like center me. Like that's like a great ass. That's just
1,000%.
It's like those little click clack balls. It just centers your mind and puts you in a good place.
They really do. Really, really do.
What about you, Cash? Do you have any favorite video game music over here? Battletoads, favorite.
I don't remember what I talked about before, but like I played video games. I still kind of do a little bit, but like I didn't play that much because my parents, it kind of like limited how much I could growing up. But
so right now, if I had like a gun to your head, you couldn't sing the Tetris theme song or like the Super Mario theme song.
Do 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 do.
Bullshit.
I don't know, man. Like, but I wouldn't say I'm very much a fan of that. If I don't know if you ever were in a high school band, or like like the high school band, like the brass stuff and whatever. Yeah.
I was
or a middle school band or whatever. I mean,
I
wasn't in one in high school. I was in the middle school band, and like all the percussion kids, they love playing the Mario theme song on like the mallets or whatever, and it it kind of really ruins the song after they play for the 3,000th time. Yeah.
I got kicked out of my middle school band. Conductor fucking hated me. I got like 40 detentions, and then I eventually just got booted.
Apparently, I almost got kicked out of my high school orchestra, but or like because I just wasn't that great at violin.
Yeah, I don't think I was great
to be good at. It's a very difficult instrument. It's a very difficult instrument.
It is a very difficult instrument. Yeah. Like it's considerably. It's like because you gotta use both hands and like.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, it's the bow. The bow a little bit too much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought violin was dope, and I was like, I want to learn how to play that, but it turns out like I can't. So it's same thing with drums, same thing with most instruments.
Yeah, it's just string instrument. I mean, like bow instruments are just like a whole other level of thing challenging. Where like like brass instrument, you press a button. I mean, I guess you gotta like get your mouth right, but like.
I mean, dude, saxophone was not easy at all. And I think if I picked it up today, I'd probably be worse than I was when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think the other thing I've kind of realized though is growing up is that like, I think I've gotten more coordinated, like just because I think part of it was just because like I like shot up, like I got tall like really quickly in like middle school. And so I think I kind of lost some coordination because of that. But now like also I can like think about things correct, like how to like play an instrument like in a better mindset or like a better way to like
you got more like you got more cognizant skills now.
Well, yeah, it's like you have a different you've played instruments for a longer time, and you have like a better way to like go about like learning how to play a song or something like that.
I feel like as you get older though, you lose like patience for like and like
You
tolerance.
lose patience, and it becomes more difficult to learn new things past
Yeah.
like I think 18 or like 21 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Still definitely have the ability in the 20s and 30s, but like it gets more and more difficult.
I would agree with that. Being in my 30s, I would say it's difficult for me to learn new things without a doubt.
I turned 26 in a few months. Shit is weird. I feel
Yeah.
like I was
Dude, I'm
22 last
26.
month.
Man, I'm gonna be 27 pretty soon. That's like a
I'm
whole other.
28. I'm glad you lived this far, you know?
Yeah.
One of my
Enjoy your
buddies that
I don't want to be 30.
yeah, one of my buddies that I met through a Dance Gavin dance group, Chase Young. I don't know if either of y'all are familiar with him. I talked to him a handful of times, and he gave me Andrew's email because I needed to reach out to him about something. He passed in this hurricane this past week, and that shit, like, I saw that, I think, last night. Shit is just awful. That shit must have been so fucking, I don't know. That's just something that made me sad recently. I'm sorry to share.
Yeah, that was I mean, it's kind of obviously it wasn't as bad as like, like Katrina or something like that.
No, yeah, but just
like
natural
kind of
disasters like that in general just
yeah,
terrify me. Just scares me a lot.
it's kind of like similar though, in that like a lot of the places in Florida were like, not, they're like below sea level kind of, or like they're right on the ocean, and so like it's really, or right on sea
Yeah,
level, so it's like, well, it didn't take a lot to like destroy the houses
it's
because
fucking unfortunate.
yeah, really.
Sorry about that.
Like right underneath me, so I'm gonna mute for a second. But go ahead.
Do what you gotta do. We're gonna sit here and talk to you and like let you listen.
We'll talk at you.
Yeah, that's the way the world's gonna work now. We're gonna talk to you. What are we gonna say?
I'm gonna tell
God,
you. I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind.
All right, well they left. Come back.
But I mean, we've covered a lot of subjects here today. But I mean, you said that you could how to play violin, but is there any, like, when you're writing vocals and instrument stuff, do you like practice with guitar, or do you have like instrumentals backed up? You just sitting there.
I like writing to instrumentals for sure. It makes everything a lot easier. I do have stuff written that isn't to an instrumental. I can play the guitar and piano a little bit, but not. I don't know. It's hard for me to write my own stuff. It's a lot easier if like, basically the way that Glow started was I was on bed rest and I had my mic stand over me, and I was doing vocal covers every day. I would get out of bed for like 2 or 3 minutes to record the video for the vocal cover, and I would edit it together. I did that every day for a couple months, and then I met Brandon, and he sent me an instrumental that he had done that was like kind of like Moose Bloodish, turned into our song Polaroid. And yeah, if I have an instrumental to write to, I can do that. Jesus Christ, 1 second.
Ryan, you're on mute.
Yeah, I know.
You're saying something. Oh, I thought you were.
Because I was just like, oh boy, because I'm sure he's suffering from the same thing of background noise that I am. That's why I'm.
What if it's the same sound and it's going across?
The tractor that's outside my house is outside his house. That's what's going on. The Ryans are a hive mind. We're just the same. We have the same experiences. We're all experiencing life at the same variable. We're just in different locations. Like it's all experienced the same.
This is deep, man.
Yeah, this is existential thoughts with Ryan. Like, Ryans are very deep.
So that'll be after we finish Bandussy. We'll do existential thoughts with Ryan. Will be our next one.
Oh yeah, existential thoughts with Ryan. I mean, where do you go with that? I mean, do you go deep into the consciousness of the mind? Do you go through?
Do you even exist? Does anything real? Oh yeah, none of this exists. This is all a figment of Ryan's imagination. There's yeah.
I mean,
Swancore is not a genre. This is all just created in Ryan's mind to
yeah, we're
cope.
playing a Beautiful Mind, the home game, and I'm an emotional ghost, and I'm just kind of floating through life. And this podcast is just a figment of my imagination.
Exactly.
Very interesting. It's very interesting. If
Yeah,
it were
I think she's
of my
scared.
imagination, though, I think we would all be millionaires. You know?
Yeah, I think I'm not thinking big enough. There could be
You
more.
always said we'd win love.
Maybe billionaires. I wouldn't want to pay all those taxes though.
Yeah,
Well, you
If it
probably
was a
wouldn't have to
figment
pay
of your
any taxes.
imagination,
Yeah.
you could be a millionaire and not have to pay taxes.
That's beautiful. I like that.
yeah, taxes are imaginary in this imagination.
Yeah, exactly. We're all rich.
I'm not fond of taxes.
Well, some of us at least are rich in here. Maybe not everyone.
If I could be like Yoshi from Nintendo, like Mario games, and just not pay taxes, that'd be great. Because Yoshi avoids taxes. I want to avoid taxes. I think that's just.
It's very
The best way to not have to pay taxes is to not have very much money.
There you go.
Then you just go to jail for it. They just go ahead and
just don't make any money, and then no one will tax you.
That's the musician way.
There you go. Being a musician is basically being like a glorified homeless person. You go from town to town, you survive off $10, and you hope that
nobody kills you.
The day you have enough. Yeah, it kills you. You got enough gas next town. Basically, like the last carnival folk.
We should start a carnival.
Yeah, there we go. The demo team carnival.
I would go. I would buy tickets for a weekend.
But like no music acts, just like carnival acts.
That's fair.
Carney life.
As long as there's some free show stuff.
Right.
I'm actually going to a festival tomorrow. Or not a festival. Yeah. What'd you ask me?
No, Ryan. No, the other Ryan. Ryan Porter. Weren't you a carny or something like that?
When I was no, I wouldn't say a carny, but I've sold merch at like monster truck shows and like swap meets, and I took that carny energy when I worked at
Oh yeah, that's what it was. The carny energy, not that you were a carny. You had the energy, and you wore striped pants.
You're Andrew Carnegie?
Carnegie, I wish. I think Carney.
Carnegie Hall.
I'm so far away from Carnegie Hall. Isn't that like all the way in like east, like New York? Pittsburgh.
I have no idea. Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Barely even a real place to me.
Yeah.
You ever been to Pittsburgh?
I stopped in Pittsburgh on a Greyhound coming home from a tour one time. I walked outside to look at the city. It smelled like shit, and somebody asked me for $10, so I went back inside.
That's the right energy, Someone asked, I go back inside.
Yeah,
it's definitely happened in Dallas. So, and also basically all place I live. I think it's just kind of just par for the course now, right? City smells like shit. I
don't have to listen to the sounds of people mowing grass 5 feet from me. That is a great thing to not listen to.
Bless you. As soon I can't wait, because construction workers work out here till like 4 o'clock. They start at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're here till 4 o'clock, and they're just tearing up concrete and building houses, and it's just like, way, I live at the beach. It's so great. And
I would be so petty.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be so petty.
Yeah, I wake up angry, just like, oh boy, I get to wake up. So great. Here in construction.
The last place I lived before, one day my landlord just no one's mowing the lawn, and we're just like, I don't wonder why the yard people haven't come or stopped coming. And then like my landlord texted me, he was like, hey, can you just start mowing the lawn? And I'm like, no.
You're gonna take anything off my rent if I mow the lawn?
Yeah, it's like, what?
I would have asked.
He thought he was running a commune, not a rental property.
This is my cat Bug. She hates being held.
Yeah, that's a bug for sure.
That's a beautiful cat. That's a tabby.
buzz.
She thick as hell.
She dummy thick.
Gotta love them thick cats.
She's wondering why I'm talking to her scratching post right now. I have my phone set on top of my two
Is she scratching the scratching post?
Yeah, a little bit. She's thinking about it.
That's great.
I just want to get a post and scratch at it.
So you briefly mentioned that you've gone on tour and such. Do you have any cool road stories that you'd like to share? Anything that's not like people asking you for money and running inside?
Yeah. In New York, we had 2 shows lined up. One of them got canceled, so we were just chilling for a few days, but we didn't have a place to sleep the first night. And so this is when Game of Thrones was airing. We had just gone to New York. We didn't have a show that night. We were just chilling, and we found somewhere to park the car. Didn't move it because you don't move your car in New York. Like, you just don't. If you find a place to park, you just don't move it. We ran like 30 minutes in pouring rain, quite drunk, to go watch Game of Thrones at this bar. And that was great and all, but like when we left, we were very intoxicated, and we found a Checkers restaurant, which is the only place in New York where you can eat for less than like $20 good. And then after that, we slept in our van, and were informed the next morning that we were very lucky we didn't get our windows busted in and get robbed from the place that we were staying. And it was scary. And then we played a show and went home.
Hey, I mean, you got your luck. Your stats of luck are just like
what I'm
really
saying, though, it's like what you're saying about being glorified homeless. Like, that's exactly what we're doing. Going to the bathroom in the street, sleeping in the trailer, and hoping to not get robbed.
Watching TV at a bar.
Yeah, couldn't even do it for free. Had to buy a shot and beer to be there. Which I mean,
that was the thing. I do remember that when you watch Game of Thrones at the. Well, I mean, I watched it.
It was so fun.
Yeah,
I watched all those last 3 seasons with like a huge group of people every Sunday. That was such a. Even though the last season was kind of doggy doo doo bullshit.
With friends, anything like if you have enough
much
friends,
more palatable.
Oh yeah, it becomes like Mystery Science Theater, where you can kind of riff on it, and like you get that enjoyment of complaining together.
1,000%.
I mean, I didn't watch Game of Thrones like when it was on the air. I'm trying to get into second while it's on the air, but I
like
watched
the show a lot.
Yeah, I watched it after the fact, and I can totally see why people hated that like last season. I'd be like, wow, this all was like expedited. Oh, yeah. I got it really quick, and I didn't, I was able to digest it in like a couple weeks. If I had to wait years and this is what I got, I would have turned on it just like them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I don't even think it was bad. It was just so like, it was just kind of just very mediocre was what it was. It wasn't even like
rush, dude. It's so rushed.
Yeah, exactly. It was extremely like they should have gone like another 3 seasons or at least 2.
I think one more season would have been good. It was just so much in one season of TV. My phone battery is on 8%. Is there anything y'all would like to ask me otherwise in the next few minutes before I have to go charge it and hop off this?
Yeah. What you eating later? I'm just kidding.
Later, I'm going to see the movie Pearl, and then I'm probably gonna eat some good. Maybe Taco Bell, maybe eggs and avocado. We'll see.
All right, man. All right. The night is yours. Usually at episodes, we ask people what they're listening to lately, but if you just want to shout out some homies and how people can find you on social media before your phone dies, that'd be much appreciated.
I'll do both. I've been listening to a lot of Ayadola's new record recently. It is really, really good. I would recommend it to anybody that likes music and has ears. There's a band called Household that used to be a hardcore band, has changed their sound and sounds kind of like Movements, but with a lot more like key changes and shit like that. They're putting out a new record this weekend independently, and it's something that everyone should check out. They put out a record called Everything a River Should Be, couple years ago, and it's on Equal Vision Records. It's an absolute banger. Go listen to Pianos Become the Teeth. They just put out a new record, and it deserves to be bigger than it is. Our social medias for Water Culture are at Water Culture Band on everything, I believe, except our TikTok is at the Water Cult. And yeah, my social handle is Brian the Vocalist. Pretty simple. It could be yours as well, you know?
No, he's Ryan Rex.
Yeah, makes sense.
Big dinosaur doing something. Yeah.
Also, dude, it's awesome to see how well you're doing with like those polls and like the Facebook monetization thing. That's like awesome. Good shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm on a little bit of a pause on the monetization thing while I try to figure it out and get it back. But it's been a fun ride for like 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, made a pretty penny.
Oh yeah, I cannot complain. That's probably the easiest job I've ever had, and it's better to have loved than lost. But I try to
if you ever need to make some memes for something in the meantime.
Do you have any poll ideas that you would like?
Have any poll ideas? Shit. I don't know. I really don't.
I'll slap that you out.
What haven't you done? You know, you've done music versus music versus everything else, bands
music versus Ryan.
Yeah.
I didn't make the Ryan poll, but I did make a poll where Taco Bell. So I mean, that's
very
where
nice.
do you go from there? But
I would think you just do more like Every Time I Die, fucking what is it? This band Coheed and Cambria, and the other bands that have like the huge diehard groups that share it. Just do that versus movies versus different forms of media. Taco Bell, like you said, that's just absolutely farming.
We'll do Coheed and Cambria versus the Joe Rogan Experience versus
really smart.
Breaking Bad versus
Mike Tyson's Left Hook.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel randomness has always been my strength.
Versus Cats on Broadway.
Yeah. Before
if you can figure out how to do polls and stuff like that and promote lesser known bands, you can make a killing off that. If it actually got like conversion results, that shit would be busting.
I'm working on it. But I do want to say before your phone dies, Ryan, you've been the homie for like years, dude, and it's
great. It's been cool to watch you grow.
Hell yeah, dude. It's cool to have been watching you like stay with it and like go from just like covering songs to releasing some of like my favorite shit that's out there right now, dude.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Keep it up, man. Like I'm glad. You know, like I know changing from Glow to Water Culture, that's always like a daunting task, but I think like you're killing it with flying colors, dude. You're doing great stuff out there.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been really nice meeting you, talking to you.
Yeah, nice meeting you as well.
Oh yeah, it's
a great time.
Oh yeah, this whole podcast exists because of Cash, so I was lucky enough.
It exists because of me, but it continues to exist because of Ryan. But also, hey, thanks for being our Bandussy episode 5 guest. So
absolutely,
Bandussy file episode 5.
Hopefully, I'll talk to y'all again soon, man. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, later.
Later.
I'm waiting for my food to come back.